Okay, let's get started. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Andrew Schmidt. I'm the host of today's Coffee Break with Long. Today, Tony Faxon will be presenting us an electrified option for outside air VRV integration kits. So Tony, why don't you take it away?
Thank you, Andrew. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tony Faxon, and I work for Daikin North America as a regional rep director here in the West. As we only have a small window of time, I'd like to jump right in. The topic of this coffee break is an electrified option for outside air, the VRV air handling unit integration kit. Please be aware that this presentation does not cover all the aspects regarding the topic, but if you're interested, we could set up a longer meeting for your office to discuss the topic in greater detail. The VRV air handling unit integration kit has many application options. These can be used in retrofit applications to replace traditional DX systems. Say schools with classroom unit ventilators could utilize VRV technology to mate up with replacement unit ventilators. Projects where long refrigerant piping length is required are easily addressed with this solution. Conventional VRV applications where special requirements exist, such as high static, special filtration, or large zone requirements can be addressed with this option. But the application I wish to discuss today is the split DOAS application for 100% outside air. The VRV air handling unit integration kit is a great solution for this application. Now let's look at ASHRAE's definition of a DOAS. A dedicated outdoor air system uses separate equipment to condition all of the outdoor air brought into a building for ventilation and delivers it to each occupied space either directly or in conjunction with local or central HVAC units serving those same spaces. With the use of a 100% outside air system, the approach allows the outside air latent load to be decoupled from the space air conditioning load. The outside air path can be conditioned based on either discharge air control or dew point control to deliver neutral or cold air to the building. Space temperature can then be independently controlled by a separate heating and cooling system, such as a conventional VRV system. The DOAS air path is 100% outside air, not mixed, and it can be delivered at the required quantity directly to the space. The amount will be based on the number of people and area factor ventilation requirements. With this option, multiple space calculations do not need to be considered. Since no mixing is involved, ventilation rate delivery to the space and zone can be verified and continuously monitored. So why the VRV air handling unit integration kit? First, our goal is higher efficiency. With the use of inverter-driven compressors and heat pump technology, we can deliver the required outside air with lower utility costs. Using the VRV heat pump helps us achieve decarbonization goals and strategic electrification for the project, removing gas heating from the DOAS system. There is significant flexibility when looking to the VRV option, as longer piping length limits allow for more options in condensing unit location, as well as smaller, lighter, and quieter systems. Scalability is another benefit with the VRV air handling unit integration system for your DOAS, as the systems are modular. The use of additional circuits and systems allows for a tremendous range of capabilities. As we look at the VRV air handling unit integration kit for a DOAS, we start with the expansion valve kit, designed to work with applied equipment with specifically designed DX coils to match the VRV systems. The EK-EXV expansion valve kit comes in 10 sizes, ranging from 1.5 tons up to 16 tons. As the systems are modular, you can add additional kits to increase capacity and connect them to additional coils, interlaced coils, or both. The expansion valve kit is powered and controlled by the EK-EQ control box, and it comes in a weather-resistant enclosure suitable for outdoor installation. The expansion valve kit will be brazed to both the DX coil in the air handler and to the VRV condensing system serving the DOAS. Because of the modular design of VRV systems, the air handling unit integration kit is highly scalable to all sizes of DOAS systems. As I mentioned, you can go up to, say, a 16-ton coil for expansion valve kit, but you're not limited to a single circuit per VRV system. You could choose to use an interlaced coil with say 2 16-ton circuits and match them to, let's say, a 32 to 34-ton VRV system. The larger air handlers, the additional interlaced coils would be added to additional VRV systems on the same DOAS, thus continually doubling the scale. The VRV air handling unit integration kit is controlled by the EK-EQ series control box. It's the interface panel between that third-party air handling unit and the VRV condensing unit. There's currently 3 main control options. The first option is Z control. It's a space temperature control. Controls off of return air temperature similar to standard VRV fan coils. This might be applicable to, say, VRV condensing units to replacement unit ventilators, or that specialized air handling equipment with custom options beyond the standard air handling unit. I've even seen these custom air rotation units designed to work with these kits. The control option would use a VRV room controller to control around space temperature. This is a comfort cooling application. It's not applicable to DOAS or 100% outside air. The second control option, and the one most applicable to this DOAS discussion and the Colorado market, is the W control. This control system utilizes a third-party 0 to 10-volt input control to control the system to discharge air temperature. For dry or non-humid climates, this is going to be your best option. The third control option is the new D control. This is another option for DOAS, but it's going to be applicable to humid climates where dew point control makes sense. Often, hot gas reheat through the VRV system can be applied as well to address high dehumidification requirements. Now, the required outside air solution can vary greatly dependent on the application type and climate location. Here in Colorado, we have a cold, dry climate, so the best type of DOAS integration kit control is going to be the discharge air control, or that Z control. If you engineer a project in other areas of the country where they have a more humid climate, looking at the DOAS system with hot gas reheat tied into the VRV system, and then using D control and controlling the system around dew point may be the best option. In addition to the expansion valve box and the Z control box, there's other components required to control the system. The coil will use entering and leaving refrigerant temperature sensors for controlling the load and superheat regulation. Entering and discharge airstream temperature sensors will also be used for determining heat-cool changeover and temperature control. The DOAS DX coil will be selected consistent with the manufacturer's guidelines to be able to match up with the VRV system. As the DOAS will typically have heat recovery and other custom sections, the air handling unit DDC controller that would be provided by a TC contractor would handle the sequence of operations for the rest of the DOAS. For the VRV systems to be matched up to an applied DX coil, there's specific manufacturer's coil requirements. The DX coils must be designed for R410 refrigerant. The minimum rated pressure level needs to be 478 PSI or greater. Tube diameter should be 3/8 or smaller. It requires a self-draining coil design. The refrigerant velocity will be a minimum of 1,000 feet a minute at nominal cooling. The coil pressure drop allows for a maximum of 10 PSI at that level. And then the distributor pressure drop has a max limit of 31 PSI. Now, the refrigerant capacity and the volume of the coil should not exceed the range specified at nominal conditions. There are some additional design considerations for the DOAS. Now, first, let's look at heat recovery options. The coil will need to see a minimum of 23 degrees entering air temperature. So for this climate, looking at heat recovery for the outside and building exhaust air is the best option. Heat wheel, air-to-air, or even heat pipe options can be considered. This is the most efficient way to preheat the outside air before it enters the coil. Now, there's several good options for applied DOAS air handling units, but technically any manufacturer that can meet the coil design criteria can be utilized and will work with the VRV air handling unit integration kit. Here we see several options made by Daikin Applied. So for smaller indoor semi-custom DOAS units, the Precise Line products can be a good solution. for medium to large size units with more custom options, the indoor vision or outdoor skyline products by Daikin Applied are a great option. Another great option for custom dedicated outside air handlers is the Oxygen 8 family of products. With the Nova, Ventum, and Terra products, they offer a complete product line for decentralized ventilation. Their units are easy to mount in the ceiling, wall, or floor of a small mechanical room. Indoor and outdoor DOAS options are available with energy recovery or without, as required. Now, we've only got a few minutes left, so I'd like to show you a few projects. Here's an example of an expansion valve air handling unit integration kit that was utilized for comfort cooling on a school. So here you can see the VRV4 heat pump units, air cooled, tied into VRV style unit ventilators. This is a project in New York. I mentioned earlier that you could utilize these units on air rotation units. So here's a Z control project. So it's discharge air control. First stage was set up with a first stage air economizer on this air rotation unit. And the second and third stage are tied to VRV systems with separate circuit coils. Here's a unique project, probably not applicable to Colorado, but for a humid climate here in Florida, they utilized water-cooled VRV with DX cooling, but instead of connecting the condenser water to a cooling tower, they tied it in for reheat. So here you could see they used an outside air handler plumbed into the water-cooled VRV system with the dedicated outside air integration kit. To the left, you can see the Skyline air handling unit they used for the DOAS. And to the right, you can see the water-cooled units that they utilized for heating and cooling. To the left, you can see the electronic expansion valve boxes in the vestibule of the air handling unit, along with the piping. The control boxes go in the mechanical penthouse. And then the temperature control contractor on the right provided a unit controller for the DOAS unit. Here you can see the air handling unit discharging neutral air into the space. Another project I want to show you real quick, although this is a space control project with W control. I thought this was interesting because here in Arizona, they utilized the expansion valve kit with a VRV system for underfloor. So they were able to utilize that for that application. To summarize, the use of the VRV air handling unit integration kit combined with dedicated outside air systems allows for an all-electric option to address building ventilation. These kits allow custom air handling units to be matched with VRV heat pumps. It's a good application when specialized requirements do not allow for the use of conventional VRV air handlers. Again, there's 3 different control strategies: space temperature control, discharge air control, and dew point control for humid climates. Work with your long salesman to discuss and design any applications you may have. I want to thank you for your time. If you need to contact me, Tony Faxon at Daikin, or Jeff McBride or Andrew Schmidt at Long.
Thanks so much, Tony, for giving us that presentation today. In the current age of electrification, this just is another great tool to have in our toolboxes, air handler integration kits with VRV systems. And again, like Tony said, please reach out if you have any other questions. Thanks again, everybody, for joining. Have a good one.